The story of Saint Bernadette Soubirous. Saint Bernadette Soubirous was born on January 7, 1844, in the small town of Lourdes, France. Her family was extremely poor, and they lived in a one-room abandoned prison cell, struggling to make ends meet. Despite the harsh conditions, Bernadette was known for her gentle and humble nature. She suffered from asthma and poor health, which often kept her from school, leaving her unable to read or write. Yet, her heart was full of faith and simplicity. On February 11, 1858, at the age of 14, Bernadette went to gather firewood near the grotto of Massabielle with her sister and a friend, as she began to remove her shoes to cross the cold river. She heard a rustling sound. Looking up, she saw a beautiful lady dressed in white, with a blue sash around her waist and a yellow rose on each foot, standing in the hollow of the rock. The lady held a rosary and smiled at Bernadette. Astonished and afraid, Bernadette instinctively took out her own rosary and began to pray. The lady joined in, silently moving her lips as the beads passed through her fingers. This was the first of 18 apparitions that Bernadette experienced between February and July of that year. During one of these encounters, Bernadette asked the lady who she was. The lady responded, "I am the Immaculate Conception." Uneducated in theology, Bernadette did not understand the significance of this title, which had only recently been proclaimed as dogma by the Church. Yet she repeated the words to her parish priest, who was stunned by the revelation. During another apparition, the lady instructed Bernadette to drink from the spring and wash in it. Confused, Bernadette looked around but saw no spring. She began digging at the ground, and miraculously, water began to flow. This spring became known as the Lourdes water, famous for its healing properties. Since then, countless pilgrims have visited the site, and many miracles have been attributed to the water from the grotto. Despite skepticism and harsh questioning from local authorities, Bernadette remained consistent in her account of the apparitions. She faced ridicule, disbelief, and even threats, but her humility and unwavering faith touched the hearts of many. Eventually, the Church recognized the apparitions as authentic in 1862. After the apparitions, Bernadette chose a life of humility and service. She joined the Sisters of Charity of Nevers and became a nun. There, she lived a quiet life of prayer, suffering from chronic illness but never complaining. She once said, "I am ground like a grain of wheat." Bernadette remained devoted to her faith until her death on April 16, 1879, at the age of 35. When her body was exhumed several years later, it was found to be incorrupt, and it remains preserved to this day in the chapel of Saint Gildard in Nevers, France. Bernadette was canonized as a saint on December 8, 1933, by Pope Pius XI. Saint Bernadette's story is one of humility, faith, and perseverance. She reminds us of the power of simplicity and the importance of trusting in God's will. No matter the trials we face, her legacy continues to inspire millions who visit Lourdes each year, seeking healing and spiritual renewal.